Hey everybody, welcome to Grimsforge Gaming. Today we're going to be covering my stand-in. This is Old Man Kratos, and the build is Old Man Strength 4.0, so let's jump right into this. Now this is a no CP build. You can use it in Battlegrounds and in Imperial City and Cyrodiil. It'll be very strong in no CP, although you can also take it to CP because the particular armor sets that we're wearing are very strong over there as well. Obviously they're not going to be proc sets because proc sets don't work in no CP for the most part, but anyways, let's look at the build here. Very first thing you'll be able to notice is we are running Malakath's Band of Brutality, and this is more from a thematic standpoint with Kratos. Obviously he's super powerful, very strong, and very wise in his age, but Malakath's Band increase your damage done by 16%, but decrease your critical damage done. And I didn't have very high crit numbers. You can see my weapon and spell critical unbuffed is only at 10%, so that really didn't matter to us. I just wanted to get the absolute most bang for my buck on my D-Swing and my Deep Fissure, and so Malakath's Band was the way to go for me on that. Next set that we have it paired with is Champion of the Hiss. Champion of the Hiss is a great armor set if you're looking for something that's max stat and gets you to your next ultimate very quickly. This is a staple for me on a lot of different builds because of that, unless I'm running Oaken Soul. If it's an Oaken Soul build, Minor Heroism is built into Oaken Soul right now, and so you won't see Champion of the Hist on any of those builds. But if you can look at it, it's weapon and spell damage for a 2-piece, 3 pieces max stam, 4 pieces max stam, and 5 pieces max health. And then you've got that Minor Heroism at all times while in combat. And it's kind of hard to get out of combat sometimes in Cyrodiil, so that works out really well, and you seem to be in combat a lot while you're in Battlegrounds, because if you're not fighting someone on your team is, so it works out really well. The next armor set that we have paired Champion of the Hist with is Titanborn, and you can see here we've got infused and we're running stamina recovery. I needed to get my stamina recovery roughly to the 1500, that way when I pop a potion we hit about 1800 to 2k, and then when our netch is up we'll break 2k in stam recovery. That seems to be pretty good for 1vxing and fighting outnumbered. You can last a little bit longer with that type of recovery, so don't be turned off by the stamina recovery when it is buffed here at just under 15k. It gets much higher than that. So, but we're running stamina recovery there, and then we're running infused weapon damage and infused weapon damage. So I am running a Nirnhoned Maul, and then you can see there's weapon damage glyph there. I didn't need, with our Deep Fissure applying major and minor breach, I didn't need to go sharpened here. You can see our physical pen unbuffed right now is just 9k. Just sitting at 9k, and that's actually really good. We're going to do another 9k a pin on people, so we've got roughly 18k pin, 19k pin when we hit somebody with our Deep Fissure. And I think there's a little bit more pin built in to the build through some of the animal companion passives. Let's look at that real quick just to make sure here. Let's see. Yeah, increase your armor penetration by 990 for each animal companion, and we've got a lot. So I think that's in addition to, or that's included in our 9k that we've got there. So, but that's pretty nice. You can see up here we're running, this is a 3 heavy, by the way. We're running 3 heavy, 4 medium. This spot right here is actually a flex, so I just wanted to get a little bit more weapon damage. You can put whatever you want here. If you want to run trainee, push your max health higher, do that. If you need recoveries, do that. You literally can put whatever you want, just make sure it's heavy here. So you can see this is heavy, Champion of the Hist, and we're running Impen. You can see that we're running reinforced, heavy. I probably need to gold this out to get the most bang for my buck on that reinforced, but Molokina for the weapon and spell damage, and Champion of the Hiss, which is heavy and it's reinforced for more armor. And then we're running a hodgepodge of stuff down here with our Titanborn. So you can see there's Sturdy. We don't do much blocking. There's Divines. There's Divines, and then there's Reinforced. So I don't, my impen's a little bit on the low on this, but in no CP, it's not as problematic as when you're in champion points. You'll feel certain crit builds a lot better, or a lot more. And on my back bar, we are running powered for additional healing, and you can make that defending if you want to get your resistances higher on your back bar. And we're running sturdy, but I need to change that. So you can see, really, honestly, our traits could be much more optimized on this, and it's still, the build still feels really strong. I also like running the escapist poisons on my back bar. You can see immobilize your target and grant you unstoppable, rendering you immune to control effects for almost 4 seconds. And my primary CC currently is on my back bar. It's my shield assault, gap close, and so what I'll do is just shield assault into a target, stun them, hit them with a light attack, then bar swap, and that light attack will do the it'll immobilize the target, and it will give me CC immunity, so I can actually get some offense off to them. And so I might need to make some more of those. That's been working out really well. Okay. That is the build. Let's jump into the abilities here, and we're going to look at some things. This is unbuffed, and we currently are in no CP. So if we go to a CP PvP, if we were to jump into CP PvP, our tooltips are obviously going to be a lot higher. Sneeze. Sorry. Our tooltips are going to be a lot higher in a CP CP PvP, but they're not too bad here unbuffed. You can see we got an 11,000 dizzy swing, and I like running reverse slice. We're very splash damage on this build, so reverse slice seems to be pretty good. Another nice thing about the splash damage on reverse slice, especially in CP PvP, if you are running occult overload or you're running plague break, there are times where you can just kill an NPC. You get them to explode with the plague break, you get them to explode with the occult overload, and the splash damage absolutely nukes PvPer's face off. And so reverse slice for me is the way, especially if you fight outnumbered a lot. And see our tooltip on our Deep Fisher, unbuffed, 11,000 on the first hit, 15,000. This in CP PvP, that second hit is over 20k, and the first hit's like 15k. And so this thing absolutely trucks on people. Fairly low cost at 2,700 mag, but we're running Bird of Prey. This is our major expedition. Gain immunity, snares, and immobilization. For Kratos, he's hard to snare. I start the fight off immediately with the shield assault and apply the poison. And so for like the next 4 seconds, I can't be snared. And then at some point during that time frame, we are hitting our Bird of Prey as soon as that poisons off, and there's more CC immunity, immobilization immunity. So he's hard to snare, he can still be stunned, and so I like that. We're running Bull Netch. There's a built-in stamina recovery there. This is a free ability, and it's access to my major brutality, major sorcery. Now in CP PvP, especially if you're going up against people with Plague Break, this thing will get you killed, because at the bottom, every 5 seconds, the Netch removes 1 negative effect from you. On its own, it's going to cleanse Plague Break and kill you and your friends. So drop this and end up putting in momentum. Okay, most of the time I spend in no CP PvP, Imperial City or Cyrodiil, so this isn't that much of a problem, but I did notice for sure that it was getting me killed in CP PvP. And so you'll want to run momentum and then run rally, and you'll gain access to another burst heal, so that'll be nice. We are running Dawnbreaker of Smiting. You can see unbuffed, that's 15k tooltip up front, and then 18k after the fact, and then there's a passive in the Fighter Guild ability that gives you additional 3% weapon and spell damage for having it slotted. And so that seems to be working out really well. This is my CC currently, and we'll talk about other options, but the reason this is my CC is it's really hard right now to line up D-swing on mid-level to advanced level PvPers because of the movement speed that they have and their understanding of mechanics in PvP. So D-swing's hitbox, while if you were to read the tooltip on it, it says it's 7 meters, D-swing's hitbox can be affected by just moving too close to the target. Now for whatever reason I can't target them, or strafing side to side. I do not like where D-swing's hitbox is. It's not very friendly, and with immense movement speed in the game, the 0.8 seconds it takes to get a D-swing off, they have 0.8 seconds to screw it up, you know, to ruin the burst combo, and so that seems to be happening. Shielded assault puts me right on their toes, and they're stunned, so they're on the ground in front of me, allowing me to get offense into them. So if before I gap closes someone, I hit a deep fissure and then I gap close into them and stun them, it almost guarantees the deep fissure hits to get that major and minor breach, and then I can start going into my rotation and just simply try and land D-swings on the people, okay? I'm running Crystal Shield right now, and then I'll probably go with Crystal Slab. I'll go with the morph that stuns people and freezes them. That is super annoying in Battlegrounds, and I can't wait to do that to other people. This is kind of a new addition to the build because this was a flex spot previously on any of the other builds. You can see like Old Man Strength 3.0, I was running Pierce for major and minor fracture there. And so I would gap close to the target, light attack, pierce them, bash, light attack, pierce, bash, and then switch to the front bar, and my sub assault would hit them, or deep fissure would hit them, and then D-swing. And so damage lined up really nice like that. Well, with them combining major and minor fracture to deep fissure, the Magicka morph, I'm gonna be lining that up on people anyways. It made this an absolute flex spot, so we're gonna run that so we can't be ranged down. And the shield on this is freaking nutty. It's a really big shield. Look at that. I'm in PvP right now, and this is only stage 2, and it's a 20k shield to ranged attacks. That's insane. Okay. We're running Resolving Vigor. It's too strong not to run right now, pretty much on Magicka and Stamina. It doesn't even matter what you're running, so run Resolving Vigor. I'm running it on my Mag Sorks right now because it gives you minor resolve, and the tooltip on it is really nice, and it's not that bad of a stamina cost. So this gets much better tooltip wise when I drop my Enchanted Forest. When I drop Enchanted Forest, I then open up through passives access to major mending, and so standing in my Enchanted Forest, especially when I'm lower health, I think at the 40% threshold, all my tooltips go much higher. I am running Soothing Spores. This is another flex spot, by the way. I would really like to run Arctic Blast, but the problem is it's such a high Magicka cost, and our Magicka max mag and mag recoveries are fairly on the low, and I found that the amount of times that I needed the CC, the dot, and the hot, and the stun from Arctic Blast was too much for my recoveries on this build, and so I ended up dropping that. It just made it not viable to run that because, you know, here's 4K recovery or 4K mag right there, and then there's 4K right there just from those two abilities alone. And this costs mag as well, and I stay on this, and this costs mag, right? So now all of a sudden we're a true hybrid, right? And we've just got too many 4K mag and 3K mag abilities on the build. It's not the end of the world. I just switched out and put Soothing Spores here, and that will end up being a really nice burst heal. I think I've seen some 9k burst heals from this. The only problem is it's a cone effect in front of you, and they need to be, so you're directionally challenged, right? You need to make sure that you're facing them. Although that seems to be a theme on Warden, right? Because this is also an area in front of you, and so you end up needing to get good real quick on keeping people in front of you, or keeping the fight in front of you. So keeping your enemies in front of you and keeping your friends in front of you. But I did drop this on there. There's a video too, just from 3 days ago, where I took this to CP Cyrodiil, and I was testing it out there, and you can see we got into some really good fights. There were some other clips where we were fighting like 2v20 and stuff like that, pretty funny moments and stuff. But this heal actually was pretty beneficial. Now you could run some other things here. Living Trellis is pretty nice. As you're taking damage, you got the heal coming in, and the only problem that I don't like this is there's no guarantee on whether it's going to go on you or another target. And so there might be times where I really need this. I'm taking pressure and I cast it, and it ends up going to my teammate. And so that's the only thing that prevents me from running this more regularly. Lotus Flower, and then I forgot the other morph, but these aren't bad either, because I do medium and light attack and heavy attacks channeled in with my D-swings, and so there's a nice sustained healing coming in from that, and it's got a fairly low cost. You'll get Major Prophecy, Major Savagery from it, and my crits will be higher. My crit chance will be higher, but it didn't matter. Like you saw, I was only at 10% crit chance anyways, so I ended up moving off that and just run into that. Now another option for you is running Healing Seed, and then running there's a morph that applies Major Defile in a large area on the ground, and so if they try and stand and fight you in that, you'll get a burst heal and it'll apply Major Defile. And so that might be an option too, but then there's another 2,500 mag cost, and you would be replacing a stamina ability. Right now we seem to have the perfect balance between mag and stam abilities, and that's really in hybrids where the battle's at, is trying to find, based on your primary spammable and your follow-up damage and then your buffs, how many mag abilities and how many stam abilities can you run, and not run into sustain issues when you're fighting 1vx. So anyways, Soothing Sport ended up working out really well. We're running Ice Fortress, and it gives us minor protection, and then we're running Enchanted Forest, and Enchanted Forest is really nice, super low cost at 90 ultimate, plus it generates more ultimate. So this thing is just an absolute life giver, or lifesaver. And you'll see that I use this actually in the video, dropping it often, because Soulless Prime that I was running with, a really good PvPer, he was taking an immense amount of pressure. The two guys were trying to burst him down, and so I had to drop this often, kind of give him a little reprieve on his resources. But Enchanted Forest, really nice big area too. You can stand and fight in it. So let's buff up here real quick. We're going to look at some things. Let's look at the tooltips here real quick. D-Swing is at 12k, Deep Fissure 12k, then 17k. We're in no CP, keep that in mind. 17 and 20, and we're at 21k. This gets much higher, and 10k on that, and 10k on that. Okay. Tooltips are pretty nice, and let me look at our recoveries. 18k, you can see that, plus we got some hidden stamina coming in from our Netch. Mag recoveries at 12k, 13k, or 1300, sorry, 1800 and 1300. Seems to be where we're at. We are in a meta right now where we're running max stats are a little bit lower, especially when we're running a hybrid. We're using both of these evenly, and you saw my max health gets up to 30k. Damage wise, we get up there pretty high. Can see that we're at 5,400 weapon damage, and then when our glyph goes off, we'll be right at about 6k damage, and then our pen at 18k pin on people is definitely enough. Our resistances, see our resistances on our sword and board are 30k, and then when we go to our two-hander, 26k. That seems to be okay. 26k is probably all the lower I would want to go on a build. Anything less, you know, that's not a Nightblade. So, and with minor protection on this, 26k seems to be getting it done. So that's pretty good. We are running the warrior. You can switch the warrior out to whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. You can run, if you need more recoveries, you can do that. If you need more resistances, you can do that. And we're running smoked bear haunch for those extra recoveries, the expensive food. So max health, health recovery, stamina, and mag recovery. That's needed. I think if you run Bewitched Sugar Skulls, you'll have nice big max stats, but you will not have the recoveries needed to fight Outnumbered or 1vx, and that is a fact. Okay, so that's looking at everything. Oh, we are a Nord as well, so like if we jump in and we look at that, you can see that our max health is 1k. You can see that we have a Stalwart, and this is why I like Nords, because they're very rugged with an extra 2600. What we got in the background here? John. How's it going, John? Okay, we looked at the abilities. Let's jump into the CP, even though this is a no CP build, because you can take this wherever you want. As far as the green tree, Steed's Blessing for 20% extra movement speed while out of combat. Rationer for the extra food duration, very important when you're running the very expensive food. Gifted Rider for extra movement speed, mount speed, and then War Mount. Okay, everything else is just preference. Over here you can see that we're running Untamed Aggression for 150 extra weapon and spell damage, Wrathful Strikes for 205 extra weapon and spell damage, Deadly Aim, increasing your damage done with single target attacks by 6%, and then Mastered Arms for another 6% on direct damage attacks. Now if you're primarily running in CP PvP, CP Cyrodiil, CP Imperial City, I would come off of one of these, probably this, increase your damage done with single target attacks. I would come off of that and I would drop it into Occult Overload. This thing is too darn good not to run. When you're doing almost 13k damage when you kill someone in a 4-meter radius, this is a CP vicious death. You need to be running this right now if you play CP PvP right now. If I had $1 for every time I was in CP Cyrodiil, CP IC, and I got killed by Occult Overload. I didn't get killed by the player, keep in mind. It was the darn Occult Overload that blew my face off. So this thing is overtuned, need to run it, need to complain about it. We need to get this fixed. Anyways. Rejuvenation, 90 extra recoveries there. We're running Fortified for extra armor there. We're running max health on Boundless Vitality, and we're running Celerity for additional movement speed. That setup is kind of a staple for me right now on the red tree. I really like that a lot, and occasionally there's people that I come off of the additional movement speed and I go into Strategic Reserve if they're not a vampire, and it's a class that I end up finding myself sitting on the ultimate pretty long. You can get your health recovery in PvP above 2 to 3k, and 2 to 3k coming in every 2 seconds is pretty nice additional health maintenance. So that's CP. Now we're gonna look at the last part here. People will be like, hey, how'd you get your guy to look like Kratos? And so we're gonna go to the station here. I don't normally play this close to my character. I'm gonna back that up. Honey bear. Alright, we've got our helm hidden here. This is the armor buff from the Warden. We're running the Minotaur shoulder. I think that's the heavy one too. And we're running the, I can't even pronounce that. Yeah, we're running those hands. Anaquin? Quina? Who knows? I don't know. You take a shot at it. What do you got? And then we're running Skull Explorer Breeches. These pants definitely look like Old Man Kratos from God of War 3 or 4 with him and his son. So that looks really cool. I like the gloves as well. And then the Black Drake Clan Wrap Jerkin. I actually really like that a lot. And I just recently switched that over. I was running the Minotaur chest on Kratos, but I kind of like this look a lot better. And we're running Abner Tharn's sash. He was very nice to lend that to me, thank you. And then the Huntsman's sabatons, and so I like those. The gloves and the boots look like they go together really well. And then for Leviathan, the axe, I was running one of the special like axes that have the animations or whatever, but this axe just looks so much like Leviathan that Kratos uses, and it's the Sword Thing battle axe. And let's see, as far as body, facial hair, boar's nest, body markings, Hircine's Hunt body markings. That's I was running without that right now. Like, if you know, Kratos has a red stripe. Currently there's a red tattoo that takes up the whole half of your face, but I don't like that. It didn't really look Kratos. I'd rather not have a strip at all. It looks more Kratos. And then I was trying to figure out, is there anything close on the body at least, and this isn't too bad. He does have like that strip comes down and through here. So anyways, we do have a red tattoo on our Kratos, and that's that. And we're running the heroic personality. So, and then I think mount wise, I don't even remember what mount we are running. Oh, we're running the bear. I remember that. Yeah, Gray Smoke Forge Bear. And then I do have a non-combat pet. I'm running around with the donkey, not the donkey, the boar. And so from God of War, the last God of War game, he and his son accidentally shot that boar, right? And so Kratos out in the open world's running around with that boar following him. So that's everything there. I think we went through the build, we went through the abilities, we went through the CP, and we went through the look. And Old Man Kratos, Old Man Strength 4.0 is really darn strong. I've been having fun with it. So if you're looking for a stand-in that focuses on two-hander, D-swing type setup and Dawnbreaker, this thing hits pretty hard, especially no CP. So, all right, you guys be safe. Bye.